This is the story of a city that brings to our day the accumulation of the past and walks to the future with great confidence. This is the story of an understanding that has translated into life the Anatolian reform in trade and industry, and thus enabled the Turks to stamp their mark across the world. And this is the splendid story of Denizli, which is situated in southeastern Aegean, and whose energy, deriving from its glorious past, shines in the bosom of this country like a star. The beginning of this story dates back to 5000 BC. Denizli, which was first settled within the boundaries of the citadel, used today as a shopping center, had always been a center of attraction throughout history by reason of its vast agricultural lands and its being situated along major trade routes. Its mild climate, in a region acting as a bridge between the Mediterranean, the Aegean and central Anatolia, has enabled Denizli to abound its agricultural variety. The positioning of the city at the crossroads of these three regions has placed it in an advantageous point as regards trade and transport. Many states, from the Lydians to Persians, from Byzantium to the Ottoman Empire, which have been influential in directing the course of history, have viewed Denizli as an undeniable element in reinforcing their domain in Anatolia. Denizli, which bears the traces of many civilizations set up in Anatolia, has succeeded in safeguarding this heritage, thus making significant strides in the field of tourism. Great have been the contributions of the governorship of Denizli, the Provincial Directorate of Culture and Tourism, as well as the inhabitants of the city in safeguarding these unique splendors. Apart from its historical and cultural riches, the city is also home to many natural beauties, constituting the highlights of Turkish tourism. Pamukkale is the first site that comes to mind when listing the tourism treasures of our country. Pamukkale, which tops the list of tourism icons in Turkey, has been included by UNESCO in the list of World Heritages. This mesmerizing site also includes luxurious hotels visited annually by tens of thousands of tourists and continues to shine brightly in the heart of Denizli. Denizli also abounds in antique cities. The city, which became ever more important during the Roman and Byzantine period, has also added a religious aspect to its characteristics of being a trade and political center, thanks to the contributions of its antique cities. Temples and other religious structures unearthed in the antique city of Hierapolis, renowned in archaeological literature as a sacred city, are important examples that have reached our day. Hierapolis, with a history of at least 4,000 years, has been a significant center of health, religion, and arts for centuries, thanks to its spas and travertines. The antique city, with its colonnade, agora, necropolis, the Domitian Gate, and churches, is a veritable open-air museum. The Roman bath, which is one of the largest structures of Hierapolis, has been transformed into a museum in 1984. In addition to items unearthed during excavations carried out in Hierapolis, other items gathered from the Tripolis Valley cities of Laodikeia, Colossae, Tripolis, and Attuda are also exhibited in this museum. The highlight of the museum is the section devoted to items unearthed from the Beyce Sultan tumulus, reflecting the most glorious examples of the Bronze Age. Another significant touristic site of Denizli is the antique city of Laodikeia, which is also one of Turkey's largest antique sites. Laodikeia, which was set up in the 3rd century BC, acquired a justified fame at the time due to its success obtained in the field of trade. The most important source of this fame was the breeding of a kind of sheep with jet black fleece and the extremely soft yarn obtained from this sheep. The fabrication of this yarn in the production of textiles turned Laodikeia into an important center of its time. Exports were effected from Laodikeia to the island of Samos, to Athens, and to many Italian cities. The attires of Roman emperors were also produced in this city. Laodikeia's becoming a textile center of the antique age has constituted the foundation of today's Denizli textiles, which have acquired great fame throughout the world. The red travertines of the town of Karahayit draw attention as another example of the riches granted by Denizli to Turkish tourism. The Karahayit spas, where the mineral oxides in the water form layers of red, green and white travertines, create a significant potential for tourism with the addition of 5-star hotels recently built to accommodate visitors. Thanks to both the thermal waters of Pamukkale and Karahayit as well as the thermal waters of Kaklık Cavern, Denizli offers a variety of alternatives from the standpoint of tourism. The healing qualities of the thermal waters of Hierapolis, much acclaimed in the antique age by kings and other nobility, have long been scientifically proven. The healing properties of these miraculous waters are best noted in heart and vascular diseases, as well as in the treatment of rheumatism, neurological diseases, and paralysis. The healing properties of the waters of Karahayit, which has taken its place among the leading thermal centers of the world, have been tested for the past 2,500 years. Many of Europe's leading cure centers are located in Karahayit, which accommodates visitors in modern 5-star hotels. At the end of a 10 to 15 day stay, visitors leave Denizli with a renewed mind and spirit. Caverns are another important touristic potential of Denizli. The Kaklık Cavern in the town of Honaz, with its travertines, pools, stalactites and stalagmites, is a veritable sight not to be missed. The thermal waters of this cavern are also renowned for their healing properties. The Dodurgalar Keloğlan Cavern, situated on the Denizli-Antalya Road, is 145 meters long and is a fossil cavern which extends horizontally. The internal part of the cavern forms a magnificent site with stalactites, stalagmites, columns, and spaghetti stalactites created by drops of water falling for some 10 million years. The cavern is also known to contain healing properties for respiratory problems, asthma, and bronchitis. Denizli abounds in museums. Items reflecting cultural aspects of life, as well as the furnitures of the room where the great leader Atatürk stayed during a visit to the city, including a wardrobe, a brass bedpost, and a Baroque-style desk, as well as a prototype of a Denizli dwelling, are on display at the 2-story Atatürk and Ethnography Museum. Denizli has also made significant strides recently as regards Congress tourism. The Denizli Congress and Culture Center, situated within the premises of the EGC Park, is in compliance with world standards and is open to service within 4,000 square meters of covered area. The complex is capable of hosting up to 500 people for symposiums, conferences, and related activities. Plateau tourism in Denizli is also flourishing with many installations, among them Buldan Tasdelen and Serinhisar Kefe camping sites, fully equipped with infrastructural services such as electricity, running water, and toilets. The Honaz Mountain National Park, Kartal Lake Larch Forest, as well as Akköy and Babadağ mountains with their rich flora, offer a unique site for botanical tourism. There are a number of lakes in Denizli, Acıgöl and Işıklıgöl being among the major ones, and these lakes are a haven for a variety of birds. This characteristics makes Denizli an important site for bird watchers. Denizli region also offers many possibilities for various sports, namely trekking, rafting, paragliding, fishing, hunting, as well as water and winter sports, and thus is a place open to these sports all year round. Natural riches such as the Upper Dağdere Lake in Honaz, the Çal Asmaltı waterfalls, the Güney waterfall, the Çivril Gümüşsu waterfall, the Süleymanlı Lake, along with other lakes and monumental trees in Beyağaç and Çamlık, and the Kent Forest, as well as the Can Kurtaran excursion spot, are among the highlights by reason of their proximity to the city centre. Adding its entrepreneurial spirit to creativity and determination, Denizli has succeeded in becoming the driving force of Turkish industry thanks to the forward strides accomplished in this field. With such a perspective, and with a growing market share both within and outside the country, the industrialists of Denizli succeed in setting up firms of world standards. Especially in the field of textile and ready-mades, these examples reflecting skills and strenuous work of the Anatolian people, coupled with modern technology, create a bridge of colors and motifs linking the past to the present. The trademarks created in Denizli, without ever breaking ties with the past and determined to make progress, enjoy great acclaim throughout the world. As a result, the exports effected on a worldwide scale from this city brings back billions of dollars of revenue to our country. Apart from textiles, weaving and ready-mades, alimentary products, chemicals, plastic, glass, paper, electrolyte copper cable, metal goods, machinery and equipment, as well as marble, occupy an important place in the industrial activities of Denizli. The Denizli Organized Industrial Zone, which entered into service in 1998, constitutes the core of the provincial economy. The industrial zone, situated on the Denizli-Ankara Road and covering an area of 3,500,000 square meters, houses a wide range of activities, from textiles to iron and metal industry, and a variety of other productions. The rapid growth witnessed in the city's economy has speeded up the opening of new industrial zones, and the outcome of these activities have likewise been rapid. According to census figures of the year 2000, Denizli's population is 850,000, and it consists of 19 townships, 100 towns, and 372 villages. Agriculture also occupies an important place in Denizli's economy. The city abounds in vast irrigable valleys, thus placing the city on the top of the list of agricultural exports. Among the major agricultural products are wheat, corn, barley, sugar beet, cotton and tobacco, whereas tomatoes, watermelons, melons, cucumbers and carrots top the list of vegetables. Fruit is also widely grown in Denizli. Wine produced from grapes of the township of Buldan and Çal have a world-renowned taste. Wine production in the region dates back to mythological times. In addition to grapes, apples are grown in Çivril, cherries in Honaz and in the Gümüşsuyu town of Çivril, and olives, pomegranates and peaches in the townships of Buldan and Güney. The thermal waters of Sarayköy serve for heating the greenhouses run by the Provincial Directorate of Agriculture and in producing electric energy for the city of Denizli. Animal farming has also accomplished significant strides in Denizli. Cattle, goats and sheep are of extreme importance in animal farming. And as for the trouts of Çameli township, they are considered as a feast for the palate. Laboratories set up in the township of Çivril for analyzing soil, foliage and water have been put to the service of the farmers. Pamukkale University, ranking among the prominent education institutions of our country, provides significant contribution to the upgrading of the socio-cultural life of the province. The recent accomplishments in Europe of the Denizli Sports Club have been the pride and joy of Denizli. And yes, the history and natural beauties of Denizli display a harmony rarely witnessed elsewhere. Coupled with this legendary harmony, the advanced technology used in the many factories makes Denizli a model to be followed throughout the country in the field of modern urbanization. But all this does not suffice in describing Denizli. Many a hidden value, many beauties passed unnoticed are still concealed in this city. It is like a bouquet of wild flowers that will only be appreciated by deeply inhaling their scent, and like an everlasting passion challenging the centuries that has to be lived in order to be savored.